This is JordanTower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Well, the capping has got to stop, man. Okay, so we got Wack 100, and he's got Game over there in Clubhouse, and they're obviously talking about everything that went on in that interview. And in the interview, they're talking about, I guess I got brought up that 50 Cent always talked about that he helped write Game's first album and helped it sell. And we'll go over that in a second, but 50 Cent didn't say he wrote his lyrics. He gave him hit records. The records that were hits that with 50 Cent on them were his records for his next album. Is the Game not interpreting what 50 Cent was saying and Wack 100? Then Wack 100 tried to say that Game wrote, "What up, blood? What up, gangsta?" Like, what is going on here, bro? Like, I don't even think Game was around in the studio at that time. Most of 50 Cent's album was written prior to him getting his deal. Like, do these guys, does Wack 100 just sit around in his house and just make things up out of nowhere? Like, oh, what's my talking point today? I'm going to say Master P got no more money. I'm going to do this. It's like, I agree with him on certain things he was calling out in the beginning, like the whole Meek Mill Tekashi thing. That was on point. Him sitting down with Tekashi was interesting, right? But once he got a taste of that sitting down with Tekashi, right? He was addicted. That was in August of last year. Ever since then, we've gotten him on Clubhouse, making up narratives. I mean, even before that, what I really didn't like him for, right, was him going at Nipsey. Nipsey passed, and then he was saying, "Well, what worldwide record does he have?" Like, you're trying to take this man's accomplishments away. Like, come on, dude. And I wish certain people, I mean, that's what did get him punched by Nipsey's guy at that event, right? But it's just like, dude, it's kind of getting too much. Like, this clout chasing move, like to say that Game wrote a record that he was never even around for. Let's just call a spade a spade. We know the Game, it was very clear, the Game was going to get dropped. He was signed to Dr. Dre. He was going to get dropped. And then Dr. Dre, of course, 50 Cent would do anything for Dr. Dre or Eminem because there would be 50 Cent would have never got to the level he was at without them, right? He needed that cosign. He's very vocal about getting that cosign from them to get to the next level. He had the recipe. He just needed it to, get out to he needed a network deal for his recipes, and that's what happened. And he got the cosign. It's like Martha Stewart co-signing you, being a cooker, a homemaker or something on one of these, the Cooking Network. That's what happened. Or Oprah or something. That's what Dr. Dre and Eminem were at that moment for 50 Cent. And in return, he made sure the Game didn't get dropped. They helped make his record better. 50 Cent jumped on half the album pretty much, right? All the first 4 singles had 50 Cent on them. 50 Cent never said he wrote Game's lyrics. Otherwise, there would be no point to the Game, right? But he needed help with structuring hit records. And I think that 50 Cent really taught the Game how to structure a hit record, because after that, the Game was pretty much unstoppable for a few albums. Even when he went at 50 Cent, got dropped, went over to a different subsidiary, and kept it going, But he crossed 50 Cent and betrayed Dr. Dre, and that's why you didn't see him at the Super Bowl. Because how can you trust somebody that's flip-flopping like that all the time, The Game's done a lot of weird stuff. But he's a great rapper. Nobody's taking that away from him. Okay? But he did not write he did not write that record for 50 Cent. If anybody helped 50 Cent write anything, it was Dr. Dre and Eminem helping him structure a few hit records for his first album, right? I'm not saying 50 Cent knew what he was doing either. He was making street records. I think they came in and really helped him. He had a great story, and so did the Game. The Game had a similar story. Remember, he got shot and this, and he's like, you know, they used kind of the same story too, that worked with 50 Cent. It's a really interesting time. And the Game is we're always going to remind this, Jim Jones exposed, in a way, snitched at the point that the Game told him, yo, I'm going to go against 50 Cent when I get in the game. Like, once I get over to G Unit, I'm gonna get my first album out, then I'm gonna go against him, and I'm gonna get even hotter. And I was like, wow, what a disloyal person, bro. Can you imagine 50 Cent going against Dr. Dre and Eminem? Never. Anyways, I appreciate you, and I'll check you guys in the next one. This is Jordan Tower with JT News.